Hello and good morning, everyone. So today is our turn, which is Group 3, to present our ADM181 presentations, which with the topic is handling of employees' misconduct in Petronas. So this presentation will be presented by Aiman Akimi, Christina Patricia, Khalida Hanisa, and me, Nuraman Alfia. So this is our content for today. So without wasting any time, let's move to the next slides.
Now I will explain for the introduction part. Discipline in the workplace plays a crucial role in ensuring that employees follow company rules, maintain professional conduct, and work together effectively. It helps to create order, promote teamwork, and improve overall productivity. When discipline is enforced fairly and consistently, it sets clear expectations for employee behavior, making the work environment more focused and respectful. On the other hand, when misconduct, whether minor like tardiness or major like dishonesty, is ignored, it can lead to low morale, reduced motivation, and even affect the company's reputation. Employees may feel frustrated or demotivated if they see that unacceptable behavior goes unpunished. Next one is literature review. Effective workplace discipline involves setting clear behavioral expectations, monitoring performance, and providing feedback or consequences when standards are not met. Its primary purpose is to encourage responsibility, maintain order, and create a safe and productive working environment. When implemented fairly and consistently, discipline can improve employee attitudes, reduce misconduct, and support overall organizational effectiveness. There are two types of misconduct. For general misconduct, it refers to unacceptable behavior by employees that may not be severe or criminal but still violates company rules and affects workplace harmony and performance. For example, habitual lateness. Repeatedly arriving late to work shows a lack of discipline. Next one is unauthorized absenteeism. Being absent without permission or proper notice affects work schedules and puts extra pressure on other team members. Next is misuse of company property. Using office equipment, tools, or resources for personal use without permission. Other than that is poor communication or disrespectful behavior, like speaking rudely, ignoring instruction, or failing to cooperate with colleagues and supervisor creates a toxic work environment and lowers morale. Meanwhile, for gross misconduct, it refers to serious violation of company policies or ethical standards. These actions are severe enough to justify immediate dismissal without prior warning, as they threaten the safety, integrity, or reputation of the organization. For example, theft or dishonesty. Stealing company property or lying about work-related matters break trust and is considered a serious offense. Next is harassment or physical violence. Any form of bullying, threats, or physical attacks in the workplace creates a hostile environment and can put others at risk. Other than that is fraud or corruption, involve manipulating information or accepting bribes for personal gain, which is illegal and damages the organization's credibility. And the last example is action that harm the organization's reputation or safety, includes spreading false information, violating safety procedures, or any behavior that causes public embarrassment or danger to the company.
Next is 3.0, conceptual definition, discipline. Definition discipline. The word discipline comes from the Latin word discipulus, meaning pupil, and disciplina, meaning teaching. Being disciplined means following instruction and obeying authority. Discipline is often used where there is a clear chain of command. There is a many kind of discipline. To explain what is discipline, but I will explain only two kind of discipline. First is external enforcement and internal self-control. External enforcement is outside force, make sure people follow rules to keep order. And internal self-control is people manage their own thought and action to reach long-term goal. When we combine these two, meaning is rule need to be followed and people need to know right from wrong. Next is self-control and obedience. Meaning of self-control is stopping ourselves from acting on impulse, and obedience is willingly following order. Combine these two words, we will get being able to control impulse and keep working on a task even when it is hard without giving up.
As we know, disciplinary actions are essential in every company management system. So, there are two types of disciplinary actions that we should know. Okay, so the first one is the bottom-up approach. It is a framework to ensure that employees understand that every action taken by them will be followed by consequences. Basically, it is a mechanism that applies the concept of immediate brain, giving warnings, brain personally, and consistent punishment that is likely when touching a hostile. So, the first concept of this approach is immediate brain, where it is believed that every disciplinary action must be taken immediately for employees. It is parallel when you touch the hostile. It will give you a reflex to withdraw your hand before getting your hand when continuing to touch the hostile, right? So, from this situation, we can understand that when employees feel that the company rules, they will be punished right away. So, the second concept is purpose warning. When an individual touches the hostile, he will automatically withdraw their hand because of the warning from the effect of the stop key. It is the same as when an employer providing a warning. It will make them aware that every action taken has its consequences that they will need to bear. And The third concept is burning personally, where the disciplinary action should not be taken to a personal level, which means that the punishment should be directed to their behavior and their personality or characteristic. By doing this, employees can understand the cause and effect of their actions and not only why the punishment imposed to them. And the last concept of this approach is consistent punishment, which means that the punishment that occurs should be imposed consistently and equally on everyone who commits the same offense. This means that each violation should receive the same punishment for every person at every time it occurs. And there should be no favoritism or biases between employees in the organization. It is similar to the hostile rule, where when someone touches the hostile, they will suffer the same kind of principles like everyone else. Okay, so the second type of disciplinary action is a progressive approach. Normally, this approach is carried out on the person that is likely to commit violations repeatedly by imposing on them increasingly severe or more serious penalty each time the repeated violation occurs. They are first step of progressive approach. Okay, so the first step is giving a verbal warning or counseling to the problem employees. It is involves open and honest conversation between the employer and employee that focuses on the employee to learn from past mistake and having a clear communication about it so that the employee can understand where the problem is. And the next step is giving a written warning. This is because a written warning provides a clear record of the issues and potential consequences that can be imposed for continuing behavior by providing clear and relevant policy to them. Furthermore, suspension without pay can also be taken as the next step if the employee still does not improve their performance or behavior. For instance, the employer can give the employee 1 to 3 days off without pay so that the employee has a space to think about the situation occurring. And the ultimate step is termination or dismissal. Uh, as we know, termination of employment is a decision that the employee should consider and think over many times before imposing it. So that means the employer has a strong and sufficient evidence that the employee has misbehaved against the rule of the organization if the, the employer determines to terminate the employee, since termination is a severe disciplinary action that could be taken in the organization. Okay, so now let's move on to the importance of discipline. The first importance of discipline in Petronas is to limit the employee's action, which means that discipline helps individuals to develop self-control and cultivate resilience to ensure that they do not exceed the limit within the organization. This can be done if the organization provides a clear expectation of their roles, responsibilities, and consequences of each actions taken by them. The next importance is to ensure the safety and security of its employees and the public. This is because, as we know, Petronas is an organization that operates and involves in construction and hazardous environments. So, because of that, Petronas has released its health, safety, and environment policy that must be followed by its employees. The policy has outlined the standard operating procedure or SOP that employees should follow to avoid any circumstances such as incidents, occupational illness, or injury that can occur at any time and anywhere. This is because a disciplined workforce in obeys the rules and regulations can reduce the risk of accidents, environmental harms, and equipment failures that can damage the organization's reputation and properties. Moreover, the importance of discipline in Petronas is also to ensure that there is no actions like corruption, abuse of power, and conflict of interest within the organization. We can see that Petronas has established the code of conduct and business ethics by outlining the expected behavior that is needed from the employees. For example, the code of conduct outlines the prohibition for its employee in soliciting, accepting, or offering rights from any other organization, whether to or from government officials or private individuals, even though it may result in Petronas losing business opportunities. So, from these points, we can see that the discipline is significant to Petronas' success and growth.
Let's move on to 6.0 handling of employees' misconduct in Petronas. This part, we explain how Petronas discipline their employees that have violated the rules. First is disciplinary process. Authorized officer need to find a proof of wrongdoing of employees. This officer must collect clear evidence before taking any action. Employees also have the right to report to to the other employees that have evident or witness their violence the rules. If they violate the rules, they must immediately report it in writing to the head of department (HR) or the Petronas conduct. This process help Petronas to take proper disciplinary and legal action against employees when needed. And second, disciplinary punishment. If an employee is absent for more than 2 working days without a good reason, Petronas will send a register letter asking for a explanation and to return to work. If the employee does not respond or give a unsatisfactory explanation, Petronas can consider this as abandoning their job and may terminate their contract following the law. And lastly, if a employees cause loss or damage to company property due to carelessness or misconduct, Petronas can take action including reporting to authority as allowed by law. The punishment will be matched the offense and follow.
Okay, everyone, so let's move to the next part, which is 7.0 relation between discipline and compensation in the workplace. 7.1 understanding discipline in the workplace. So, what is discipline in the workplace? So, first point is take a look at the first point, a tool to manage unwanted behavior in the workplace. And the second point is refer to employee compliance with rules, regulation, and ethical standard, which is to summarize it, is not about just punishment, but a system to ensure that everyone behave in a professional, respectful, and responsible manner. It helps to manage unwanted behavior such as lateness, absenteeism, and low productivity by promoting a culture of responsibility. Discipline includes how employees act, speak, dress, and respond to instruction. It ensures that there is order in the company, that employees work in a way that align with the company values. So element of work discipline. The first point is punctually. Punctually is like being on time for work or meeting. And the second point is consistent attendance, which is coming to work regularly and not taking excessive leave without session. The second one is productivity, which is completing tasks efficiently and meeting work's target. And the last point is professional conduct, which is professional conduct is like showing respect to others, following instructions, and behaving ethically all the time. So why is discipline is important? Which is the first point is encourage accountability, which is having a strong discipline in within a workplace is important because it maintains accountability. Employees know they are responsible for their actions. So it's also improved performance, which is employees disciplines workers are usually more productive. The second point and the last point is maintain a harmonious work environment, which is it helps to create a harmonious environment when everyone follows the same instructions, standard, conflict can reduce and teamwork improve. So in a high-risk industry like oil and gas, discipline is even more important. At Petronas Berhad, discipline is not just about following instructions, but it is critical and safety and operational integrity. Employee who ignore safety standards or like safety rules or company policies can cause the first point is financial loss, which is a mistake or accident may result in expensive damage. The second point is legal issue, which is legal problems. Breaking law or company policies may lead to lawsuits. And the last one is reputation damage. Negative news can destroy public trust in the company. So enforcements at Petronas, which is how Petronas enforce discipline. So the first point is use codes of conduct and business ethic. CODE. So here, take a look at the slide. I have already provided the example of Petronas Code of Conduct and Business Ethic. So provide clear expectation on employees' behavior, which is what is acceptable and unacceptable behavior, the consequences of breaking rules, and how employees should act in different work situations. So let's move to the next slide, which is 7.2, the role of compensation in shaping employee behavior. Impact of fair compensation. The first point is a fair compensation system improve employee disciplines. If employees believe pay is based on performance and good behavior, they are more likely to follow rules and act ethically. So fair compensations encourage disciplines. A good compensation system doesn't just reward employees, it also influences their behavior. When employees feel that their salary, bonus, or benefit are fairly based on performance and disciplines, they are more motivated to follow the rules and act ethically at their workplace. For example, if someone knows that punctuality, and respectful behavior affect their pay, they are more likely to behave well at the workplace. And the next one is encourage positive behavior, which is linking rewards to ethical behavior promotes the first point, accountability. Policies compliance, reduce absenteeism and misconduct. The last point is pay and benefit are key to job satisfaction and retention. When compensation is linked to behavior and ethic, employees are more likely to follow policies. There is a drop in misconduct and productivity, and it's also helped to create a culture where accountability is valued. And the last one is compensation as positive reinforcement. Rewards encourage employees to maintain good disciplines. This create a high performance culture where good behavior equals to tangible benefits. Employees feel valued and stay committed. Compensation also works as a form of positive reinforcement. It rewards good behavior. When employees clearly see the link between their disciplines and rewards, they feel encouraged to keep improving themselves in the workplace. So this helps to create a high performance culture where discipline brings real benefit, employees feel value, motivation, and committed increase. Okay, let's move to the next slide, which is 7.3, compensation as a tool to reinforce disciplines. So the first part says compensation as a discipline reinforcer. Compensation is a key part of human resources management because it's how attract and keep talented employees. When compensation is clearly linked to disciplines, it becomes a strong tool to encourage positive behavior. For examples, when employees understand their salary, bonus, and promotions depends on how disciplines they are, such as following rules, being punctual, and acting ethically. They are more likely to take those things seriously. So it's also the next point is attracting and retaining top talents. High performing or high caliber employees are usually attracted to workplaces that offer good pay and benefits, clear rules and structure, and also a fair and transparent system, which is these employees want to work in the companies where discipline is rewards and merit is recognized. This makes them more likely to stay loyal and contribute to the company for a long term. And the last one is boost employer reputation. When a company uses compensation to support discipline's behavior, it sends a strong message. The first one is the company values ethics, fairness, and merit. And it has a positive and trustworthy brand image, and also employees feel respected and motivated to do their best. Okay, everyone. The next slide is 7.4, which is organizational benefits of integrating disciplines and compensations. So, reflect responsibility, which is discipline shows an employee sense of responsibility. Companies expect compensation to be reformed with strong work performance, which is disciplines in the workplace is more than just following rules. It shows an employee's responsibility and commitment to their roles. When a company pays compensations, it expects results, performance, and accountability in return. A disciplined employee honors these exchanges by delivering quality work and behaving in line with company expectations. So it's also boosts productivity, encourage consistent attendance and efficient works. Employees follow rules better when their pay is linked to behavior, which is when disciplines is tied to compensation. It motivates employees to arrive on time and attend work regularly, follow company procedures, and also focus on efficiency and output. Yeah, this creates a work environment where employees are more productive because they know their salary and reward is depends on their behavior and work performance. And the next one is reduce turnover and absenteeism, which is company often struggles with high employees turnover and poor attendance. But when compensation is linked with good disciplines, it encourages employees to be more engaged, show a long-term commitment, and also avoid frequent absence or quitting. Disciplines employees tend to feel values and satisfied, which is reduce the risk and losing them. And the last one is ensure compliance and ethics, which is helps company meet legal ethical standards and reduce misconduct and protect company reputation, which is by rewarding disciplines. Company also strengthen compliance with law, regulation, and internal policies. Like employees avoid misconduct, respect ethical standards, and also follow proper rules or procedures that provide in their company. This helps protect the organization in legal trouble, internal conflicts, and reputational harm. It also builds trust among skills holder, customers, and employees. So guys, last but not least is 8.0 conclusion. So in conclusions, maintaining employees' discipline is vital for sustaining a high performance, especially in major organizations like Petronas Berhad. Disciplinary methods such as hot staff approach help address misconduct fairly while improving productivity. At Petronas, discipline plays a key role in ensuring safety, ethics, and operational efficiency, all guided by their Code of Conduct and Business Ethics, which is COBE. The company enforces structures disciplinary actions to uphold professionalism and accountability. Moreover, the link between disciplines and compensation shows that employees understand their behavior, effect, rewards, and career growth. They are more likely to follow the rules. To strengthen this system, it is recommended that Petronas enhance transparency by regularly informing employees about disciplinary policies and outcomes. So, before that, thank you. That's all. But before we end our presentation, so we will go to Q&A sessions.